Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim, Search, and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate, and this week, we are sitting down for a plate of Cornell Chicken, baby.
Yum. Delicious.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
I want in. I've never, we'll probably end up talking more about it, but I've never heard of Cornell Chicken.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit last week off mic, but I learned about this. I think I had heard of it before, but confused it with the fact that the person that created this recipe also, and we'll talk about it, invented chicken nuggets. So I kind of conflated the two. So I knew there was various chicken products that were created, or chicken cooking methods that were created at Cornell. But I didn't know about this specific grilling method, and I learned about it on a 1-hour cooking show that I was listening to on terrestrial radio last week, WFMU, on just the wildest ride of a cooking show I've ever heard. It like the guy blew in late. He was like very flustered. He was telling people they were on air and just getting dial tones because they had hung up. And
oh no!
But he was talking about Cornell Chicken and giving out a recipe for it. I think this show is called "Is This Soup Yet?" It was pretty great. If you like incredibly independent radio and cooking shows, this is the show for you. So go check that out.
This is it.
And yeah, had a lot of great things to say about upstate cooking and this particular variety of it.
Love it.
So yeah, shout out to that radio program for inspiring today's episode and us learning a little bit more about Cornell Chicken. Hey, if you're into shouting out things, you could help us out by shouting us out in a positive review of the show. Give us 5 stars, write a few kind words, and you can even throw in a suggestion for your favorite regional barbecue style in upstate New York, and we just might look into it. And we're going to talk later comparing this to this show's favorite barbecued chicken style, known as the Speedy. We'll compare and contrast the two later, but they're definitely different. There's a couple.
Sure.
They're similar. They were created independently, but they're different. They're very different.
Yeah, even just briefly looking at the ingredients for Cornell Chicken. Yes. This is 2 different universes.
Yeah.
Are you 2 different universes?
Universi?
Universi. Yeah. Universi is going to be the word that I'm going to use now to describe that. So, yes, we will get into it.
Well, we just had a little astronomy lesson. Let's get into a history lesson and talk about the history of Cornell Chicken. Shall we, Jim?
Let's.
All right. So Cornell Chicken is the invention of a Cornell professor and food scientist who drew inspiration from his degree and love for the upstate New York poultry farming community. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cornell Chicken consists of chicken halves roasted on the grates of a coal-fired pit and basted with a marinade of egg, oil, vinegar, poultry seasoning, salt, and pepper. The chicken is flipped every so often over an hour and is basted at every turn. Jim, from this radio program, I learned a new terminology for when you have a chicken. I think specifically chicken. Are you familiar with this? With a specific word for this?
I didn't know it existed.
It's called spatchcocked.
Spatchcocked.
It's a spatchcocked chicken. I think you have to take out the backbone, but then you fillet it, splay it.
Sure.
I don't know, but it's like the 2 halves are down at the same time. Spatchcock chicken. There you go.
Word of the day.
Yeah, work that into a conversation today, and you'll be able to remember it, right? Spatchcock. There you go. Anyway, the story of Cornell Chicken dates back to the 40s and 50s when poultry and food science professor Robert Blake developed the now state-famous sauce and baste and flip cooking method for chicken. As a poultry science professor, Baker wanted to support the economy of local poultry farmers by creating a novel recipe to reinvigorate chicken's appeal by creating a new and appealing way to prepare chicken, aiming to increase chicken consumption which lagged behind beef and pork at the time. Oh, that's interesting. McDonald's is often falsely credited with the invention of the chicken nugget. In fact, Baker published his chicken nugget recipe in the Cornell publication Agricultural Economics Research in April 1963, while McDonald's patented its recipe for chicken McNuggets in 1979 and started selling the product in 1980. So there you go.
Now, I mean, we're going to this has come up in popular culture.
Sure.
This conflation here, and when we do, it's a allegorical lesson that
Sure.
we're going to learn about Baker's invention and McDonald's. But proceed.
Okay.
Proceed.
Okay. Nice plug.
Sure.
All right. His food science knowledge came into play with the basting recipe, reasoning that eggs act as both a binding ingredient and an emulsifier. So again, you use you crack a raw egg into the marinade, like that's in the marinade. I guess not sauce, just the marinade, which was novel at the time. Eggs will ensure that the seasoning sticks to the skin while helping the oil and vinegar not to separate. Baker also argued that the vinegar will kill any bacteria born from using raw eggs, making the sauce reusable. He even designed a scalable recipe model so that the chicken could be mass-produced, which he tested at the annual state fair. His chicken stand, Baker's Chicken Coop, remained a state fair favorite for 70 years. Baker's Chicken Coop at the fair was founded in 1949 by Baker and his wife, Jacoba. It stayed in the family until 2021, and we'll read an article about its closing in a little bit. In its heyday, the state fair stand served about 3,000 half chickens on the busiest days of the fair. And again, this chicken regionally is just called, or this style is just called state fair chicken too, right? Baker's Chicken, state fair chicken, Cornell Chicken, it's all synonymous, all usable terms. So let's talk a little bit about the marinade recipe. We got 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup vegetable oil, 1 large egg, 3 tablespoons salt, 1 tablespoon poultry seasoning, half teaspoon ground black pepper, and let's see, 1 3 to 3.5 pound broiler fryer chicken cut in half, or as we now say, spatchcocked.
We've learned.
And then you're throwing this bird on the grill. In a lot of pictures, people are just using big, long cinder block grills, so you can you can just do it in a field. You can grill up like 50 of these suckers at once, and you're flipping them every so often, basting. It looks and sounds delightful. It looks great. All right, so now to our little pop culture section here. In the TV series The Wire, 3 of the street drug dealer characters discuss who may have invented the chicken nugget and what fortune it may have brought him, with D'Angelo Barksdale, the crew chief, pointing out that any such person would have been unlikely to have received any great reward, but rather the heads of McDonald's were more likely to have been the main beneficiaries. Yep.
Yeah. This is a very there's so many amazing scenes in the show, but this one is one of those that certainly sticks out, as it is a bigger reference to the show, in that, the people at the top and those are the people that make money, not the people at the bottom are the ones who invent shit or are the ones who are doing the heavy lifting.
The interesting thing, well, I think we'll get to it maybe in this next article we're going to read, but like he wanted this information and all of this like chicken development to be readily available. Like he just put this out in the world because it would help the upstate New York poultry industry, right? And so, like, as we're talking, it's like, I wonder if he ever like tried to sue McDonald's over like trademark infringement. I bet he didn't even trademark chicken nuggets. He's probably just like, hey, this is a thing you can do with chicken, right? We might need to fact check that, but that seems to be the vibe. Like he was very much a poultry proselytizer.
Sure.
Did I say that word right? I don't
Proselytize.
know. Proselytizer? You know what I'm saying.
But also, in addition to that, too, he didn't, like, from what I've read of this, like, he nor the family, like, didn't die penniless. Like,
Sure.
They had a chicken coop, and they were flipping chickens.
Yep.
As one might say.
Well, I mean, he's got that Cornell professor money.
Right. Like, he's also, like, this isn't one of those artists that, like, changed the game and then died a poor person, and then 15 years later, it's like, wow, this dude was hot. Nah, man, he was doing all right for himself, I think, from what I've seen.
All right, well, let's learn a little bit more about this great Cornell Chicken tradition, shall we, Jim?
Yes, let's talk about it. And this comes to us from Cornell's website. A staple of upstate barbecues, Cornell Chicken is a grilling tradition. Brought to us by Joe Walensky. Just outside Ithaca, the smoke and steam of a community barbecue wafts through the air on a late June weekend, as rows of chicken halves sizzle on a vast coal-fired grill. After an hour of meticulous basting and turning, the crispy prepared halves, aka broilers, are tucked into takeout boxes, accompanied by a dollop of baked beans and a scoop of buttery salt potatoes. That sounds fucking delicious. Mm-hmm. And I have not ate dinner, so this hurts. Take me back to Upstate, baby. The barbecue is a fundraiser for the Savage Club of Ithaca, a musical group with long-standing big red ties. And like so many such events during an upstate New York summer, it features a local delicacy that has fans nationwide, the famous Cornell Chicken, devised by the late Robert Baker, class of 43. A professor of food poultry science on the Hill for 3 decades, Baker, who passed away in 2006 at the age of 84, created and popularized the sauce and cooking method, which involved regular turning and basting. Now, I have to say, a diet of chicken, for as long as he had kept him alive, and that does support that chicken is healthy and is good for you. You didn't see him inventing the hamburger and crushing 84, man. Not the case. Along with family members, he ran one of the most legendary eateries at the annual New York State Fair, fun times, Baker's Chicken Coop, serving untold thousands of broilers to generations of hungry crowds. That's thousands, folks. Thousands. Baker, who held a master's from Penn State and a doctorate from Purdue, designed a bevy of products in his food lab in the basement of Cal's Bruckner Hall, from quote-unquote turkey ham to a sliceable roll on hard-boiled eggs.
I don't want to know what turkey ham is. I don't.
I mean, I have an idea. It seems like it's in the words, but yeah.
Sure. But it seems like it is, but what is turkey ham? Like, I would just think a thick slice of turkey. You know what I mean? Like pre-cooked turkey, like where you get like a ham steak is pre-cooked. You can it's good to go. You can heat it up if you want. But like turkey ham sounds dubious.
I mean, it's also kind of like a club sandwich. We're not a club sandwich, but you have like a mixture of meats on a sandwich.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, as we proceed, but he was particularly devoted to chicken, as well as to supporting the livelihoods of the New York State poultry farmers. In the mid-1900s, though, that particular poultry badly needed a glow-up. After being deprived of other meats due to wartime rationing, Americans had tired of chicken and the few preparation methods for it then in popular use. Baker, who'd go on to be enshrined in the American Poultry Hall of Fame. I didn't know that existed.
Oh man, we gotta look that up.
here I stand a wiser man. Developed chicken hot dogs and an early version of the chicken nugget. In a 1984 story about his role in transforming the industry, the New York Times called him, quote, something of a chicken Edison. Haha. But it was the sauce recipe that would become his greatest legacy, as evinced by his nickname, BBQ Bob. A lot of alliteration there.
Love it. I love it.
It's an elegant but potent combination of just a few ingredients, which is interesting. Doesn't take much to get it done. Oh. Apple cider vinegar, oil, poultry seasoning, pepper, and egg, which acts as an emulsifier and helps the sauce adhere to the bird. A lot of people had been using tomato-based sauces, and they'd burn and present quite an ugly-looking chicken, explains Bob Gravani, Ph.D., class of 75, an emeritus professor of food science and one of Baker's former students. Bob said, "We need something that'll stick to the chicken and also make it crisp, golden brown." And the sauce did just that, but it also made a very tasty chicken. Baker made his recipe freely available for years. Cornell Cooperative Extension's most popular bulletin was Barbecue Chicken and Other Meats, first published in 1950. The only official adjustment he ever made was to reduce the salt, as Americans became more conscious about sodium intake. Man, he was just a prophet. That's all. That's all this was, just an upstate New York prophet. The recipe has been lauded in the national press over the decades, including Savour, one of the juiciest, most complex barbecue chickens we've ever tasted, and in the Washington Post. The grilled chicken recipe is so brilliant, it's got an Ivy name. Hello. Atlas Obscura even devoted a story to the dish under the headline, "Why All of Upstate New York Grew Up Eating the Same Barbecue Chicken." Now, Atlas, I wouldn't say all.
Yeah.
Numerous incarnations of the recipe appear online on sites like Food Network, Serious Eats, and Cook's Country. And of course, individual chefs have their own tweaks. In my opinion, said David Bandler, class of 55, MPS.
Jim, do you have an idea what MPS might stand for?
I don't, but we're going to find out.
I think it's Master of Poultry Science.
I think there's a Master of Professional Studies.
Maybe.
But Master of Poultry Science feels pretty apt for what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
An emeritus professor of food science, the original recipe is improved by substituting fresh crushed garlic for half the salt.
Okay.
Which sounds like we're knocking dangerously on the door of Speedies.
Could be.
But I'm just saying. And I know that these are two very different origin stories, but I feel like there might have been some sort of inherent connective tissue between these two recipes of, what if I try garlic? Because garlic is pretty great.
Some ligament. You know how you get like ligament in your chicken sometimes? The connective tissue, if you will.
There it is. There it is. Well, Rob, I've talked a little bit about this, the grilling tradition, but you've got something about the coop that we'd love to hear more about.
So let's learn about the closing of Baker's Chicken Coop. This is from Syracuse.com, which we've pulled articles from before. This is titled "Baker's Chicken Coop Bids a Flavorful Farewell to the New York State Fair." This is by Don Cazentre. After more than 70 years as a food vendor at the New York State Fair, Baker's Chicken Coop called it quits this year. But Rennie Baker Stanstead, let me say that again.
Sandstead?
Yeah, I threw an extra T in there. But Rennie Baker Sandstead felt she had to come back for one last look, especially after an outpouring of support that followed the news That Baker's, one of the fair's oldest vendors, was gone for good. I couldn't just walk away, she said, not with all the good wishes we were getting from everyone. So she stopped in last week, met old friends from neighboring stands on the fair's restaurant row, and brought a little something to share. Baker Sandstedt spent some time with friends like Steve, John, Dan, and Elaine Bosco, who run the Boscos at the fair stand next to where Baker's Chicken Coop once stood. She also left them jars of the famous seasoning created by her father, Robert Baker, at the Bosco's stand. The dry seasoning, which can be mixed with vinegar and other liquids, sells for $5 per jar. The fair stand...
Not a bad deal.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The fair stand has been the only place in Syracuse where fans could find the seasoning, Baker Sandstedt said. The only other place it has been for sale is Baker's Acres. Great name. Oh, yeah, man.
Great name.
No notes. The family's garden center in Lansing near Ithaca, and that is closing later this year. Oh, man. We heard from people who they wouldn't be able to get any. Or we heard from people who said they wouldn't be able to get more, Baker Sandstedt said. We'll be happy to handle these for you, Steve Bosco told her. After all the years we've been together out here, of course we can. Now, Baker Sandstedt is looking for new outlets in Syracuse to keep supplies on hand. Steve Bosco volunteered his regular business, Bosco's Village Pub in Solvay. Although Baker's Acres is closing, Baker Sandstedt hopes to use the space there to continue to produce the seasoning. Baker's Chicken Coop was founded in 1949 by Robert and Jacoba Baker. Robert was a Cornell University food science professor credited with many innovations, including the famous sauce and the chicken nugget. The sauce, a mix of cider vinegar, egg, and seasoning, has since become a staple at backyard barbecues across central New York, although many who use it may not know its origin. The whole thing about the recipe is that my dad created it to sell more chickens. And we did.
Sure.
In its heyday, the state fair stand served about 3,000 half chickens on its busiest days of the fair, Baker Sandstedt said. More recently, that had fallen to about 1,500 on the busiest days, mostly because it started offering quarter servings and wings.
Now, let's say, I mean, obviously we're doing the math here. We're running the numbers, but it's just like you're selling 3,000 chickens a day.
3,000 half chickens. So that's,
3,000.
I guess, 1,500 whole chickens.
Right. But you're doing 3,000 half chickens. You're selling a meal $5 to $10. On the high end, 30 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the low end, that is what? Let's say there's 15,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is my math mathing? But even still, man, to make fucking 15 grand a day flipping chickens?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Come on, man. What are we?
Good.
The fuck are we doing with ourselves? And then, yeah, I mean, look, if you're doing 1,500 on a slow day, I mean, come on, we're pulling in 15K, man. That's nuts.
Yep. Let's see. In the classic combo, the chicken was accompanied by a side of salt potatoes. Robert Baker died in 2006. Baker Sandstedt and her family, including sisters Karen Appleby and Johanna Baker, and her children Travis and Sarah Sandstedt, took over and marked the stand's 70th anniversary at the 2019 fair. That was just a few months after their mother died. Baker's was among the oldest stands at the fair, along with Restaurant Row stalwarts like Basilio Sausage and PZO's. Its iconic A-frame building, along with that of former neighbor Haddock's Paddock, were torn down this year. Oh man, torn down after both businesses pulled out of the fair. Neither was up to current fire code. Oh man, yeah. I mean, A-frames and fire code do not mix. They are built to go up in an instant.
Ablaze.
Yeah. It was such an iconic location, Baker Sandstedt posted on Facebook before she visited the fairgrounds, but I know something better will go on in its place, and someone else can start a 70-plus tradition at the Great New York State Fair. During her visit, Baker Sandstedt walked around the space where her stand once stood, now occupied by Hammy's Bacon Bomb. It does not sound like something better replaced it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does one want to indulge in a bacon bomb?
I'd rather have turkey ham, Jim.
Sure,
Whatever
sure.
the hell it was.
Fair enough.
Anyway, she pointed to where the barbecue pits would have been and where she would stand to greet and serve customers. It was a big part of our life, she said. I'm going to miss it. I think my son Travis might miss it more, but it is time to move on. All right. So this final part here that we're going to look at is just a comparison of Speedies to Cornell Chicken, brought to you by the subreddit r/barbecue. And we're going to read this. We're going to do a little bit of a dramatic reading between Jim and I. But this is from a much larger Cornell Chicken thread on r/barbecue. But I think the original question was, is it just Speedies? And someone, you'll see, people are just like, yeah, but like, is it Speedies? And this, we finally get like a good answer within this.
The answer is no.
Correct.
These are two different things.
Correct. And for it being Reddit, everyone's like, they say like, no, they're different, but they keep it cool. They're nice. They're there to educate, not to like be an asshole.
They're calling in, not calling out.
Yeah, the great way of putting it. Yep. And you'll also see this conversation spans 12 years. So,
right. I'm looking
years.
At it. That's so funny, man.
It's remarkable. Ooh. So I'll be reading the part of Squeak 7700. Jim will be Great Attitude. And there's some other...
Which I have. Yeah. Which I have, by the way.
There'll be some other parts as well, but let's see what we can learn from this old ass Reddit thread. All right. Oh, the Reddit thread being, any of you guys ever made Cornell Chicken? Found this recipe? Looks solid. All right. Squeak 7700. As someone who grew up in Syracuse, New York, I've never heard of Cornell Chicken. Is this just Speedy sauce marinated chicken?
Ha! 11 years later, and you're getting a comment. I hope you get this after all this time. I was born and raised in Auburn, literally like 25 miles from Syracuse. I've lived in the Cuse for close to 20 years now, but spent almost 40 years in Auburn. I was absolutely shocked that people in Syracuse didn't know about Cornell Chicken. Even though Baker's Chicken had a permanent stand at the New York State Fair for several decades, until a few years ago, 2020, 2021, every single weekend from Mother's Day until Labor Day, there were chicken barbecues at firehouses, churches, parades, community centers, all over the Finger Lakes. Growing up, my parents took my brother and I either long or short road trips to Cornell's Chicken Barbecue at least 5 to 6 times over the spring and summer. It was always half a chicken, a roll, and salt potatoes. Which, of course, being from Syracuse, you know what I'm talking about. And depending, either baked beans, coleslaw, mac salad, and a drink. My parents, originally from New York City, loved the country drives to a different firehouse or church to get the absolute best chicken barbecue ever. Still shocked people in Syracuse don't know. Heck, even in Skinny Atlas they know.
Squeak 7700. LOL. So is it just Speedies? Maybe it is just the family I grew up in. Just called it Speedies. But also, it was the only bottle of the style you could readily find at any PNC supermarket. At least where I was on the east side of Syracuse. You being from Auburn and closer to the source, maybe it was more nuanced compared to us who knew of the style mostly from buying a jar of the sauce at the store or going once a year to the stand at the fair.
Huh. I'm actually surprised I got a reply from your 11-year-old comment. Thanks. Speedy sauce and Cornell marinade are not the same, although similar. And at chicken barbecues, you can get an entire half chicken, not cut up into pieces, delicious crispy skin on, really tender, flavorful meat. Cornell sauce is pretty simple. 1 cup apple cider vinegar, 1 cup vegetable oil, 2 or so tablespoons of salt, pepper, poultry seasoning, and an egg. The egg apparently keeps the marinade on. It does. It's not apparent. It does. The chicken is constantly flipped and brushed with the sauce. Speedy sauce has lemon juice, oil, spices like tarragon and thyme, and a few other things. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but it's definitely not the same taste, although somewhat similar. Oh, the professor at Cornell, Mr. Baker, also invented the chicken nuggets. Really? Chicken hot dogs and some other things. Oh yeah, and the photo on this post is not what Cornell chicken looks like from a barbecue. And it's 45 or so miles from Auburn to Ithaca and about 25 miles from Auburn to Syracuse. But I realized after moving to Cuse that it's more of a Finger Lakes thing than a central New York thing.
All right, now we got too many Draculas chiming in. It's a different recipe, and they're not related. Just similar because Cornell chicken uses vaguely Italian ingredients. Speedies are skewers, and you're making a pretty basic Italian marinade with vinegar, lemon, dried herbs, and garlic. Cornell chicken is bone-in chicken, and the marinade is just vinegar, egg, oil, poultry seasoning, and salt and pepper. Speedies come from Italian-American community. Cornell chicken comes from a Cornell University poultry scientist who's looking for a way to promote and market smaller, younger chickens and improve sales volume for New York's poultry farmers. Speedies are a lot older. I'm better said scientist was at least familiar with them. What? I'm better said? I get. They're just saying the scientist was probably aware of Speedies.
Sure. And then we round this out with virtual _ranger _5292, who says Cornell chicken sauce is great on barbecue chicken, like how the Columbus Public House, Columbus, New York, does theirs. They actually bottled their own recipe recently and came online looking for other local sauces. Theirs is definitely at the top.
There you go.
And that was a dramatic reading from the universe of Reddit, all about Speedies and Cornell chicken.
And again, everyone behaving themselves, unlike,
sure,
on what I assume is a huge subreddit, just r/barbecue. Like, it's pretty miraculous.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that this didn't turn into a all-out war on there. Like, you feckless coward, how fucking dare you don't know about the difference between these two things. I'm going to kill you. We didn't see any of that.
Yeah. There was a final note that I didn't include. This is from the larger thread. This is from Squeak 7700. Just a little closing note. Culture can change fast in 30 miles of upstate New York. Where do hot dogs change from Hoffman to Zweigel's, Geneva, Canandaigua? Right? So again, kind of talking to one person assuming Speedies are synonymous with grilled chicken everywhere, others assuming the opposite with or the same rather with Cornell chicken. Like, yeah, it's kind of one of the fun parts of the podcast is, once we've been doing it for almost 90 episodes, this is not our first barbecued chicken episode, and just getting to like compare and contrast all these different staples of the communities and how they're different and how they're the same, even though they're all it's all relatively close,
Yeah.
Well, Jim, that's what we got for Cornell chicken today. Think you excited to grill up some of this fine chicken?
I mean, yeah. I would like to round out my my upstate palate. Obviously, I will be a Speedy loyalist till I die.
Sure.
If forced to pick. But as we know, the world contains multitudes and several truths can exist at the same time. one could enjoy Speedies as well as Cornell Chicken.
You know what I mean? If things go right, I'm gonna try and make it tomorrow or tomorrow night or the night after. So hopefully next week we'll have an Upstate update about how my Cornell Chicken experience went. But I'm looking forward to it. And as like one person mentioned in the Reddit thread, like this is like if someone's doing a firehouse fundraiser dinner around Cornell, like it's gonna be Cornell Chicken, right?
Sure.
Kind of like pancake breakfasts or church / firehouse fundraising staple. I think across the country. I think you can head to the local church and get yourself some Cornell Chicken every so often. But yeah, I'm excited to try it. I'm hoping I do it justice. It sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have like a low to the ground like coal fire that you're gonna?
That I don't. It's gonna be stovetop, so Sure. I do have a really nice big ass griddle though, that has worked. I mean, made Speedies indoors once, and it worked well for that. And I had done it on a grill previously, so I'm confident in that I'll closely approximate it. Though I know it won't be, we're not going to be at 100% for authenticity, but we'll see. We'll see how it works.
We about to find out.
Yeah. Jim, if there's no episode next week due to food poisoning,
then there will be I will be very disappointed.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're all right.
Yeah, raw chicken and raw egg is really going to be
right.
It's quite the combination. Hey, you know what's also a pretty good combination? It's when you rate and review the show, guys. Again, help us out. Share an episode with a friend. That also is a big, big help. Also, subscribing. That helps out too. Again, if you throw us, though, 5 stars, write us some kind words. You can throw in a suggestion for a topic you would like us to cover, and we'll do it, as evidenced by last week's episode, where we were talking about the Stanley Theater in Utica last week. Again,
Utica.
Your suggestion could become a future episode, and when I say it could, like it will.
It will, right?
It will.
This will not be left up to chance. Like,
true.
You'll get your episode, and we will even shout you out as we did with our good friend Steve.
Yeah.
Our good homie Steve.
Hey, speaking of shouting things out, do you have anything you want to shout out as a recommendation for our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's?
Well, I do. Let's go out on a hot limb here and say that you just came from a church barbecue and you power slammed a Cornell Chicken, right? You took it straight to the dome, didn't even use the silverware, just picked that shit up with your hands and ate it. And you are on top of the world. The taste buds are on fire. You are at one with the earth. Well, but yet still want more. You want something for your ears. I'm here to help you because there's a comedy album, Upstate Understandings, that is available. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a good place to go get it. I want to call it a tour de force, not because it's my album. Well, maybe it is. That's why I'm going to do that. It's a fantastic listen, produced by the good homie Rob Adler, and the album art by Adam Russell. Man, you're going to love it. You're going to love every minute of it. Again, get over to jimsearch.bandcamp.com to pick up a copy. You can get a physical copy because we've got CD and tape, no more vinyl. And it's also on all the DSPs. You can go run that up over there too. But if you want a physical copy, because there's some really great album art in there that you want to get, well, by all means, go pick it up. And of course, jimsearchcomedy.com is a good place to find me. If you are listening to this, let's say you woke up in the morning and you listen to this, right? and you're like, I need something to do tonight, and
Mm-hmm.
for some reason you live near Newark, New Jersey, let's say that's happening, get over to Brick City Comedy Review because I'm going to be there. It's going to be a great show hosted by Justin Williams and Jeff Cerulli. It'll be a great time. I would be very pleasantly surprised to have anybody from this podcast at a show in Newark, New Jersey, but crazier things have happened. Rob, I've told them to do everything. Oh, before they go, Upstate Understanding is a great album, but you should email us, understandingupstate@gmail.com, if you want those reviews to be found. That's a good place to get at us.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say. Rob, tell us what else they can do.
Sure. Let's just say you're at the New York State Fair. You've just found yourself at Restaurant Row, and you're horrified to find standing where Baker's Chicken Coop once was is Hammy's Bacon Bomb.
You are distraught.
Very distraught. You don't know what to do. So you collect yourself and you throw on your favorite album called New York Sticky, which is available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. And you sit back, you remind yourself that there is a church on the way home that's going to be doing chicken barbecue anyway. You can still get some State Fair chicken, even though it's not at the State Fair. So everything's going to be fine. You mellow out to some mellow tunes. So go grab that album. Also, check out our documentary. It's called Understanding Upstate. It's the same name of this podcast. Pretty simple. We're keeping it simple for you guys. Link is in the description to check that out. It's behind the scenes look at the making of Jim's album, and it features a lot of Binghamton, New York. Great little slice of that. So check that out. Jim, speaking of checking things out, what do we have a hint for what we're going to be checking out next week?
We do. And I'll tell you what, if you were trying to check out if there's a basement in the Alamo, you won't find it.
Nice reference. I like it. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Well, we just got to close things out here with an up pun. Jim, are you ready?
Yes, of course.
Well, I need to spatchcock up this chicken so I can grill it. Let's get on out of here.
Perfect. Doesn't get better than that.
There we go.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.